trying to invite you. Hindu or whatever it may be. This is a call to all, who are in tune with spirit, to establish an actual unified, global spiritual system, that's open to all, and but we can pretty much harmonize the numerous and many cultures that we have amongst ourselves. We also want to talk about current events, what's going on in the world, what's happening in the world. We just noticed that America, or the U.S., I guess it's time for them to start disclosing the things that they have been keeping secret for a very long time. I'm saying that with the new president that they're gathering behind, a lot of things that America has been kept for disclosure from the populace is now starting to come out. And one thing in particular is the space program that America has had for over, 70 plus years now. Some like to think 50 years, but pretty much been longer than that. And, those who know, they pretty much know all the different conspiracies involved or stories involved with the U.S. space program. It's pretty much nothing new. Nothing new for us that have already known about numerous conspiracies that have been hid from the populace, which this is just, another one of those things. And it so happens to fall on the actual, the publication actually falls on the first week, on this week of our actual first sermon. So it's kind of ironic. But nonetheless, we have that and the things that are steady going on, besides just the conspiracy, but, things that are blatant, that are right in front of our eyes, as Iranians or Americans, formally called. And, those who, are not aware of the woes of of their own country. This is something that is, pretty much new to them, shocking or, revealing. For those people, and specifically when it comes to America, ethnicities, blacks and Latinos, many of them have not witnessed the horror, the torture, the gruesome bloodiness that our ancestors and forefathers and mothers have went through just for us to get right here where we are at this moment, communicating through internet. We didn't have this, just 30 years ago. We wasn't able to call or communicate with people, halfway across the world in less than 5 or 10 minutes. It's not letting me tag you, brothers. So now that we are in this new day and age and time, information is passed along faster. We communicate with each other more faster, and we have more efficient communication to communicate, from one side of the world to the next. With that, things of civil societies can actually be easily handled by us joining together as civil bodies. We have had many come with political theories for why we should socially be this way or, socially be that way. A lot of it is social theory or political theories. With spirituality and the teachings of peace, the science of peace, and tuning into the higher frequency. We learned that these things that are taking place are just experiences that, the matrix of life must go through, the evolutions of life. For some, it's a revolution, but the continuation and the continuum, of life and nature itself. These are things that we know that are gonna be here, a part of life. You can't take the good without having the bad, And so these things that we're dealing with here in America, boys, there's children being put in prison. You have actual politicians out here that are trying to legalize pedophilia. These are the current events this week and this past month that we have had to deal with as a nation. So these things continue to evolve without intervention from the mass as a whole unified front. This is due to a lot of split beliefs, understandings, principles. For some, it's a split between principle and morale between two different cultures. But with that, in this country, pedophilia should not be something with the principles of the Constitution and the laws of the land. That should not be something that we deal with or have to deal with as citizens. Because the fathom of that thought alone, knowing what the principles of this nation or country is built on, even though Christianity has been a violent religion and culture, since its inception. Today, Christianity is more of a principle and moralism construct that pretty much has always been around since time immemorial as a form of aesthetics. But nonetheless, the actual religion and culture itself, has been a part of a bloody crusade since its inception to promote or propagate its way of life. Now, naturally, outside of religion and just natural, thinking and philosophy, pedophilia is pretty much a natural transgression to children, a sexual transgression to children, because scientifically, these children are not fully developed, whether that be physically, but that's also spiritually. Now, some children are a little more mentally advanced than some adults, so we can't just say all of them, mentally, but also just a normal average child mentally. So lawfully, pedophilia should be something that is naturally illegal. There's no contemplation about it. It shouldn't be. And with the lack of the connection between the church and the state outside of Christianity, which has been used and infiltrated by many numerous supporters of Luciferian doctrinated groups and circles. Christianity, the religion, does not appear as it is, as it's mentally projected in its natural construct. The Christianity today that we are seeing is an inverted form of Satanism, which is why we're having this epidemic. Epidemics break out due to the conditions that were set prior to condition being manifested. So therefore, the condition of this epidemic of this pedophilia craze that we're having now in the media, the condition has been set ever since 1966 when the Church of Satan was started. Now many will say that Satanists don't participate in pedophilia, which may be true on the surface. But as you dive in the doctrine itself, and those learned men or women of the Satanist religion or culture, if you look into their occult practices, their cultural practices, the word occult just means cultural. And they could be the original cultural practices in some instances. And in this instance, the old occult practices of Satanism divulges into vampirism, especially energy vampirism. So it's no coincidence that we're dealing with this epidemic from what is called the deep state, or the many different secret societies of the deep state, which make up your secret government that has been operating for a very long time now. So those pretty much been wondering what's going on. This epidemic is crazy, and why, it's all of a sudden comfortable for politicians to now start coming out and actually promoting and propagating for pedophilia to be legalized, and they not face any legal consequences. Versus, let's say, the Black Panthers coming out doing things like giving children free food in school. Establishing programs like this. And then on the intern, they go and fight for their political freedoms. And in turn, all to be deemed as a terrorist or some hate group. Now, because some politicians does the same thing from their end, but in the hospital, in the community, markets, different things of that nature. But they turn around and feel as if that justifies them having the right to touch little boys and girls sexually, because it's supposed to give them spiritual vitalization, spiritual energy, rejuvenation. In any culture, any religion, any way of life, they have words, terms that refer to demonic energy, which is this type of energy that goes against the natural order of things. nature itself has its own order. The sun shines down on the plants grow up. Humans, animals use this for sustenance. You have the animal kingdom, which in the animal kingdom you have the food chain. If you really observe the animal kingdom and the food chain within it, you would notice that there's a mutual exchange between all animals. Other than certain animals that are considered parasitic, which is created through establishing a parasitic or demonic type environment or condition. We have to sit back and watch solutions such as, hey, build a wall to keep them people out. And there's people that actually feel justified in their mind thinking because they have more monopoly money than the next. And yes, the dollar is monopoly money. Donald Trump comes on the podium and says, we should switch back to silver and gold, or the gold standard as a country. What does that tell you about the value of that paper fiat that so many so-called minority groups of people worship? The supposed to be head of state made a dire suggestion that the whole country as a nation should go back to its old standards, gold standards, which left the country's financial situation system in a somewhat more stable condition. But could this be because what we have now at our access, everybody, the world, have access to the internet and to the new digital money? Could that be why? The digital money system that so-called mysteriously appeared out of nowhere in 2008. It's pretty much a more stable system than what we have with the American dollar and economy. It's technically outdoing the old banking system. So, with us having a new system that's backed up by mathematics, simple mathematics that everybody can understand, you're now going to see those that are stuck in the old paradigm revert back and repeat history of their own paradigm. Many thought that, America was going to put out the Amero, which is also another digital currency. But it was going to be, more so based off of the value that came from people considered as human resources. And you would be that people. Many people are aware of the chips, the RFID chips, or the mark of the beast, as it's called in the scriptures of the Bible. This Hikmah, as it's called in Hebrew, this mark is the mark for the love of money. Many people argue over that scripture in the Bible that says money is the root of all evil. It's actually being misread. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. It actually tells you the scripture that money is everything. Money is a defense. But the actual love of money itself is the root to the evil conditions that we have been dealing with. Meaning there's an attachment. So how can we establish temples if we're using the instrument of lust? And in this day and time, in America, in this white supremacy society, which is based off of a homosexual and, pedosexual, as they call it themselves now, culture. If the Pope has to keep clearing the sins of other popes that are participating, hundreds of popes that are participating in pedophilia. And this is a normal thing. It's been a normal thing for the Catholic Church for years. You can see why we have the conditions that we have. Many are not talking about these current events. They have nowhere to go to express themselves, to ask the questions that they need to ask, or even learn about what's going on out here in the world. Some people out here, they'll tell you they're living their best life. Meanwhile, you have Yellowstone erupting. But then you have politicians saying there's no climate change. There's enough technology, enough devices around to check the changes within Earth. To measure the damage done to the Earth. The Earth has feelings, emotions, just as you do. It gets sick, etc., just as any other natural unit. We have oceans full of plastic. bodies of land that are desecrated. But the people don't know because they only live in their tunnel. As the way the elite of that old paradigm were wanted. Some called them the Illuminati, some called them the CFR, Trilateral Commission, Satanists, whatever other term you want to call them. But I will say this, they are not enlightened. Because if that was the case, then every imam would be living Illuminati, a so-called Illuminati lifestyle. I'm pretty sure not every imam, not every rabbi, and every pastor or reverend is out here living that type of lifestyle. Let alone have those type of connections. Not far as just knowing the people or associating with them, but blatant connections. We have too much lack of masculinity going on in our community. Not enough men are standing up to protect these children and our women. It's due to the fact that a lack of knowledge destroys people, as well as your ego. Now, I'm not saying all us men have flying high egos, but to establish the things that we want to establish as a people, the natural people, especially us being the native people of the earth, the native men of the earth, that we have a responsibility to carry. Our ancient craft has been established since time immemorial. We have been infiltrated by outerly dimensional forces outside of this dimension. Extraterrestrial forces. Forces that come from other territories of the planet. As well as our own internal, as humans and animals here on this planet. As we adapt, integrate, and evolve here. And being as it now, in this time, in this generation, our generation is more in tune with the earth and nature. In this day and time, we will be seeing all the fulfillments of all prophecies as they have already been fulfilling themselves. It's going to be on this generation to pay attention, because what is past is past. If you're not aware of it, you're going to have to be wide-eyed open. Now, many of you haven't had a chance to learn about these things, which is still okay. Everyone starts at their own time. But if you're coming across this just now, you want to heavily get involved and thank the person that made you aware. And no, we're not here to argue who's right, Jesus, Buddha, or Krishna. I'm here to tell you they all talk the same thing. And remind you not to differentiate between the five. As it says in our Royal Tablets. Many are looking for idealism that suits their ideas of how things should be. Never making it to those greater realities. Here we offer templates and congregational members the chance to participate in those higher realms of spirituality and greater reality. Which many churches and congregations or temples don't offer. How can they offer it and they don't know it? Why don't they know it? Show thyself, studied and approved. Due diligence is key, especially for those who you call your leaders. What are they into? What do they like? How do they live? Is this an example you want to set for yourself? Is your pastor, imam, or bishop striving toward greater? Striving towards a stronger connection, stronger bonds between them and the Most High, or the Creator. So you can match and have that same reflection with the Creator and with your community. And even family. This is how you save family. The saying goes, families who pray together stay together. What that is truth, intellect, divine love. Love, learning how to care. Mother Nature, some like to call her, bringing you back into that womb of generation healing. To heal. And restore eternal life. That is the source. So the congregation, no, and not just the congregation, you as an individual member, know your soul is being led on the right path. Know that you're not just participating in vanity. If you're going to a Christian church, the pastor should know the Christian doctrine. If you're going to an Islamic mosque, the imam should know the Islamic doctrine. Many of our pastors cannot lead us because they don't know the doctrine themselves that they're quoting, promoting, propagating, and inspiring from. To know the doctrine, you don't necessarily have to read every little sentence. I have read every. But you understand the method to walk through the entire doctrine. And it's like a car that comes with direction. It gives you direction. How to guide yourself through your own doctrine. So even if they are, other cultures like Hinduism or Tao, they should know the doctrine. And as I said, essentially, all of the great leaders led their congregational members back to the source, back to the unity of oneness. So us as the world congregation, it is our sole mission to establish the world temple. And temples to all come into. Temples, churches, mosques, etc. to come into oneness. Many go to their pastors, leaders, reverends, and they never learn these things. They never get the tools they need to fight. That will be different here. You're gonna have the actual tools to do it. Even without being a part of the clergy. Even as a regular laity. have the spiritual tools you need to protect you and learn how to be one with the all. So we want everybody that's pretty much watching or tuning in later, or that will tune in later, be interested in starting a world congregation. Please reach out. We want to get everybody involved, or get everybody help, or the leaders, especially that want to start their own congregation. We have our own website, worldtemple.mn.co. We also got the worldtemple.tk you can go to. We're going to be switching those over to .org real soon. But we got more coming. Me and the world diplomat for our congregations, our world ambassador for our congregation. We've been working on establishing a Torah, so we're going to be putting that out there real soon. Going through calculations and things like that first before we start moving forward with actually putting together the first tour for the world congregation. And we'll be going city to city, state to state, linking up with the different congregations and just networking and building and establishing that family. And also letting it be known how we could merge together, network together, and take political action that's required of us as congregation and us as spiritual gathering, gathered all for the purpose of the Creator. So be on the lookout for that, be prepared for that. If you want to get involved, please reach out to me, Dr. Lawiy, or any one of our other congregational members, that are leaders of the congregation. We got the world tour. We also need help establishing the political process. We as the World Temple support the new democratic movement, democratic form of government or governance democracy, which is kind of the opposite of democracy and a republic. Which is, in reality, these two forms of government and all other forms actually come from the original form of a democracy, which the first counterpart of it was a funeristic, which pretty much gave birth to all the other forms that we have now, the republic, which is to represent the republic before this, and democracy, which is moral rule, not necessarily the people, but moral control. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's any progress in that, which it really hasn't been. We do want you to get involved with the Democratic Party. I'll come back and post the link for the party in here. If you would like to sponsor a political party or sponsor the congregation, please let us know. I can share our PayPal, and we also are into the new digital currency, so we do accept Bitcoin as a world congregation. We want people who, getting involved as well with the digital currency. As a world congregation member, we have a world World Congregation Trust Fund or World Congregation Trust that are all the congregational members or beneficiaries of, and we want you to participate in developing and reap the equity that comes out of the world estate. And so you become a beneficient of that as well. Pretty much so much that we're establishing at the World Congregation. We want to start putting global clinics everywhere for the people, rehabilitation centers, all over the globe, and there's just so much that we got with global project that we're participating in as the World Temple of the World Congregation. I want to suggest that everybody read the whole tablet before we leave out. We haven't seen that message too this evening. We should go ahead and take a look at that. I'm posting the link now, but start off at Creation chapter 1. As we read this every Sunday, we want our newcomers pretty much go over chapter 1 every Sunday, so they too could have a chance to understand the doctrine and the congregation, and just learning a little more about world history, things like that. That'll be involved with the teachings that we're establishing and bringing forth. For those that don't know about the sacred arts, we pretty much have that there to where you can, learn, the sacred art, that goes back to time immemorial. And if you want to learn the inner esoteric secrets and so-called secrets, but inner esoteric sacred knowledge, of this, and become, a part of the ministry and help spread the good word. We also have the school set up for ministers. We're establishing at the World Congregation a global interdependent school system, which is pretty much going to be a commercial academic school system, but also a private academy and institutions that will be integrated into the system as well to teach the ministers. We have the ministry as well. So come get your sermonology classes, learn how to be a minister, and eventually establish your own congregation and walk in the same footsteps. And help us push forward for this world revival that's coming along. As we continue to live forward. For those who have read the scriptures and know about the times that we're living in, and why things are happening the way they're happening, why certain events are pretty much taking place the way they're taking place. And those that know that these things were prophesied or foreshadowed or spoken about before they came about. So if you want to reach me, please contact me at Lawiy@live.com. Send me a personal message. You can also reach us at the website or any one of the websites here that are just added for the World Temple. Preferably go through our own networking site. We pretty much got our own social site, own network. You can go to log in, get your account, become an official congregation member, get a good, letter of good standing, like a part of the congregation, part of the family, and we move forward. We have to, get involved politically. A lot of our people are not taking political action, and that's due to the lack of civics, which is what, our ministers are supposed to be doing. This is a part of their duty, to teach the civics, of the community. The civics is pretty much the spirit, the pride, the logic, the law that connects the community or the society together. And so, we need that heavily, true civics, true ethics, being taught and given by the pastors and the leaders again, the spiritual leaders again, specifically. So we kind of start bridging that gap between the differences of church and state and what's going on in our political arenas. We must get active and, come together in a meeting of the mind. We don't want to argue about the things we don't agree on. We only want to talk about and touch on the things that we can agree on, come to an agreement, and get these things done for the entire whole. And, not the secondary things that we cannot agree upon as a whole. Necessity, or the laws of necessity, is something that, priority for all of us as a whole. Therefore, we need to be politically active and fierce when it comes to changing, this entire planet's economic situation. There's no reason why 1% of the population should have all the money. Leaving the 99% in a beggar situation, desperate situation, and a backward situation, very vulnerable to humanity. That is to life itself, what it's dealing with humanity. So us as a congregation, those who do come in and establish themselves as congregational members, we would like you all to go out, reach out to the people, bring them in, question, answer, ask them would they like to participate in the real body of Christ. Temple gathering is really what the real body of Christ is. And each and every one of you are an individual temple. This is the reason for us establishing the World Temple and aligning everyone back with their soul. The discovery doctrine that we have been living through as the indigenous people of the planet, the natives of the planet, has been very detrimental and is actually genocide by non-indigenous people that are not native to the planet or this environment. These crimes cannot be dealt with if we all as leaders will not come together and establish an interfaith. Even in the Christianity doctrine, it speaks on faith to faith. could be translated or considered as culture to culture, religion to religion, a people to a people. So therefore, this is going to require all leaders of all cultures. Everyone is needed to get politically active, to change the world poverty that we have been living through, where the currency can be created easily. The financial systems can be changed easily to benefit the people. When you see a few on top and everybody starving at home, that means we're giving our power to the wrong source. As the people of the government, this is in your United States laws. The people that are representatives, they are trustees that are supposed to serve on your behalf, not rule. So when a politician says, oh, we can't do that, why? Why can't you do things that benefit the all? Are you contracted exclusively? Because you were contracted by the people. That's the only exclusive that should be involved in your actions. We have politicians privately working for the courts, for the political agenda. Slaves of the bank. The banks, which are still supposed to be working for the people, to make sure the people have revenue and capital. But if the people don't have revenue and capital, how can the community evolve? How can the people evolve, progress? We have been living with a body politic called a Congress in the United States of America, so-called, or formerly called. Congress means to go against progress. So therefore, the people, with a congressional body, we're only going against the progress that we, the people, want to go for. There's not a need for a body that limits when we already have a limited liability, contractual, constructive agreement And by the system itself, the operation of the system itself provides the limited liability to everyone. Therefore, as a whole, we need a progression. We progressive. We need our pastors, imams, etc., politically active, especially melanated, especially movie ones. We need you melanated brothers and sisters active. There's no excuse for why we have this outrage and pedophilia, why we have a Donald Trump in office, why we as melanated people don't have our own districts, communities, etc. But we have many churches, but no diocese or diocese connect to that church. No temple district, church district connect to that church. So what is the pastor really doing? What is the imams really doing? We need a spiritual revival in the people, especially here in Atlan. We can't depend on America to do this for us. We can't depend on American politicians to get out here and to spiritually revive us as a people. Economically, we're waiting on them. I'm getting the ball started, but it takes the rest of you all to help. Kick out the money exchange. We all know the Most High hates an unbalanced scale. The dollar system is operating off an unbalanced scale. A lot of you don't have the patience to deal with it. This is why fellowship. Because the example of long suffering must be set. It has been set. It is being set. It's going to be up to the world over and all congregations to pay attention and see within the struggles that have been going on within our global kingdom, our global village. Many are prepared for the change, but are afraid. I refer you all specifically to the scripture that says, don't worry about what you're going to wear, don't worry about what you're going to eat. Will be added unto you. in the time where you will be called upon to speak, don't worry about what you will say. It will be given unto you. These principles have to be taken heed to and kept in mind on your journey as leaders. Those that are going to take the innovation and move with it. Those that are going to take the initiative and do something about it. Us at the World Temple, we have a galore of solutions that are compatible world over, that are adaptable worldwide. We're going to have to learn how to fellowship again. Christianity and the churches have brought in a dissension between people here in America and world over. The scriptures clearly states about homosexuality. There's much of that now going on in the churches. The Most High doesn't have a problem with homosexuality or gay people. But for our particular tribe and particular people, those particular peculiar people of Israel, which is a people made up of three distinctive tribal groups, or three distinctive cultures, which are the descendants of Isis, the descendants of Amun-Ra, and the ancient descendants of Anubis, who was over the funeral rites of a church, or, a community or culture. Which still the funeral is still tied into the but as a people, you make up these three distinctive tribes, which take you back to a whole galore of other things that you are related to and naturally inherit. But those particular people were given a particular guide and set for themselves a karmatic rule that they themselves should not transgress against. And if you are the progenitor of nature, it only makes logical sense why you would want to solely practice a heterosexual way of living, a progenic way of living, which means to keep and carry forward the genes, the life blood. Nature itself, at its highest principle, is progenic. It balances the masculine and feminine energy within nature itself and merges to create further. There's a key science to creation, procreation, which is what the ancient ones protect. Those ancient people of the tribe of Judah, which was the only last surviving remnant of those ancient cultures. The people here in America are considered the members of that lost tribe. So for us, these things are transgression, natural. This does not go for everybody that is not a part of that. But over time, the world has adopted this same Judaic principle. And we also have cultures that are anti-nature that try to combat and are still doing it to this day, which we see out in the open and public media. Combat these natural philosophy premises or principles of natural law. And when you have that clouded and shrouded by statutory and positivism law and other forms of man-made law that go against the natural principles of things, it makes it very difficult to begin enforcement of the natural law due to the oppression of keeping this particular premise, this acute one, from rising and engulfing the mind of people so they could think critically, naturally, and evolve on their own. We got to get politically active. Our people, and us as a people, we complain about this, and not having that. It all starts with the body of gathering. America, the government itself is based off Christian morality. Now, if we look at this from the actual Christian construct for what it is by nature, those who are naturally chosen and that were blessed with the gifts of God our food should naturally be the representative of us as a people, which is what the Democratic Party or the new perceived form of government provides or establishes. Not where we just have people that want to rule and run things for political gain, which is actually what a democracy is and what's the true meaning of a democracy. It's a political game. A violent game with political aim, which is no different than the religion of Christianity. And all of these mindsets continue to align with one another. There's a disregard for the liberal thinker, the free thinker. God gave people their own free will. You have pastors and churches trying to debunk liberalism as if it's not another tool to be used or not used, for good or for bad. The tool of freedom was not created under the guise of something corrupt, something confused, but solely under the guise of solid foundation, structure, order. Tools could be used to help or to harm. Now, some tools cannot go beyond their intent form. But does that not mean, that does not mean that a tool that has a negative intent form cannot end up being used to establish or do something positive. It's just meant that negative intent form is to be used with severe caution at all times. And if it's to the point where it's too severe, it shouldn't exist no more or at all. So if you want to understand how do we get rid of the guns, the shootings, the killing in the churches, the schools, and not the churches, but the extremism coming from the certain Islamic sects and cultures and things like that. You start with the condition. The condition is the source, the leader. Who is doing the influence? Who is in control? Is this control influence or an influence of a godly nature or a demonic nature? It's real simple. We all have two eyes. At least you will hope we do. See this clearly. Which is which, or what is what. And that right there, not everyone possesses the spiritual gift of, but those of us who do, the responsibility falls on you and us to make these proper discernments, choices, and leadership moves. There's no more time to keep arguing over whether we're going to be Democrat or Republican. That's over with, or should be. The government is continually to be shut down. It's obvious that the United States does not have any money. Your government, your president, who's supposed to be head of state, is offering to go back to the gold standard. Therefore, that means the gold is not gold, but the liquid gold, which is the oil, the petrodollar, is not a strong enough resource to back up the system. In actuality, none of those resources or commodities can back up the dollar, or for that matter, anything. When we have the universal and ancient adage and principle of the scale, a balance scale, which is symbolic of just natural mathematics or arithmetic, or numismatics, number system, should back up our commodities. And a number system that is universally trusted should back up our number system. This is the reason why us as the World Congregation and the World Temple, and I, as the chaplain, the World Chaplain of the World Temple, can move with us as the congregation, the World Congregation, into learning about the digital currency, learning about the future, learning about the things that are going to come, and establish things for the next generation. Establish trust with this current generation, and continue that legacy and trust with the next. We want to make people aware of the available technologies that we have that are benefit to the people. Alternative sources of energy that we need to establish within our own clerical districts, or our own church districts or temple districts, which we already have establishing, or already are now establishing as the World Temple. And it continues on with you all. We have many black nationalists that support the spirituality of us all. And furthering the knowledge of us as a people, especially the indigenous people and native people of the planet. So that goes for, this call goes for all the Moors that have the Moorish Science Temple. All the Hebrews who have the Hebrew Temple. All the black pastors, reverends that have their own churches and are ready to fall under our own large system. We have these things in place. There's no more excuses for nobody else. For no church, temple, mosque, synagogue, whatever it may be. If you understand that the origins of these sciences and culture go back to the indigenous people of the planet, you, as the leader, should be taking your time out to get involved with this science of numerology, which will increase your mental capacity
and the spiritual phenomenon that you have the ability to bring to your congregation, the spiritual revival that you can produce for your congregation by studying and learning the science of neurology, which I, as the first professor, will be teaching and has established already. And the continuation of this is just more proof of our labor. As I said, we will be getting this generation back in alignment with themselves, rebuilding the trust within itself. So, as the World Temple and me as the World Chaplain, I'll be assisting the pastors, the imams, the reverends, all the leaders, the gurus, to guide and lead their congregation to where they need to be, which is back to the source. A lot of you congregational leaders have 501c bodies, which are not actual bodies of gathering of the people. Those are gatherings of persons, which are legal entities, not natural people. And that is the way it is set up lawfully and legally. So therefore, we are calling you back to the natural body of the natural people. To be in association with the people. We established the new currency system as the World Congregation for the people. ISO standard currency for nations of people. To start the revival, the spiritual revival within those countries and nations, and the reformation to redeem the people out of those slavery and chattel status situations that they are in, and subject situations that they are in to their government that are not beneficial to them as the subject or citizen. They are not existing in a kingdom of spirituality, in a kingdom that is connected to the environment, ecology, and a kingdom basically of God, of heaven. We want everybody to participate, join the World Temple. Please check out the links that are sent, that are posted in the comments, that are pinned to the comments of the live feed. I'm also posting the World Treasury link, so if you want to make tithes and offerings to the Treasury, you can send it straight there. We want to deal solely now in digital currency. Us as the World Congregation, we're advising and I'm sending out an actual lawful notice to the world, which is a canonical law. Notice that the US dollar has no value. It is no value. I've talked to the people and I'm getting involved with the people from the Philippines and communicating with them and doing the research, looking at the documentations and our own laws that reveal these secrets, that reveal this information. about our financial reset, about our global reset, and things that are coming to take place. So us as the World Temple and the World Congregation, we want to inform you all that we only accept digital currency. We will not pretty much be taking the USD unless we're, immediately getting it transferred over into the new digital currency, which is Bitcoin. And we only associate with Bitcoin. Everything else is not based off the natural algorithm of the computer and doesn't naturally function as gold. And the things that the Bitcoin digital currency was able to accomplish that requires no reinvention of the wheel. The further enhancements that will come with the system will be made by us as the progenitors and the us that have taken precedence to create a ISO standard system for the new digital currency system that's operating off the main algorithm of a gold-like algorithm, of a gold-like structure. I'm sorry. And the way that algorithm works for Bitcoin is pretty much just like gold, and it's unhackable. It's pretty much secure. So we encourage you all to make donations in digital currency. If you can't, I'll post the link for the PayPal and for our PayPal in the comments, as well as our routing and bank account information if you want to send something there. But to join the congregation, we ask you to go to the World Congregation website. The World Temple website that I just put in the comment. Click on there, subscribe, get involved. If you also want to join the ministry and become an ordained minister, you can do that as well. To become ordained is pretty much free, but the certificates and everything else and tuition to learn to actually, lead your ministry, that is what you actually will be putting, a free will offering in to participate in. You don't want to be a minister and not know how to, lead your congregation. So, we have the actual school set up and still being established and still being built and developed along the way as we go. I've been working on this whole project for the past 2 or 3 years now, this global project, and a lot of y'all are participating in different avenues, but I want everybody to come in and participate in the temple, especially my family and those that will be considering each other as family, because as it says in Matthew 12, I think it's 12:47 through 50, or 12:46 through 50. Those that were actually the family of Jesus, as he called us, his family. These were the people he considered in his congregation. So here, for the World Congregation, so for here in the World Congregation, and those that are part of the nobility and royalty, when they become a part of this world body, just as a congregational member, you inherit a title of nobility. So, if you tuning in and you can see them that I just shared in the comments, which takes you to Matthew 12:46 through 50. It reads, Jesus, mother and brothers sent to him. This is the topic. While he was still talking to the multitude, Matthew 12, verse 46. While he was still talking to the multitude, behold, his mother and brothers stood outside, seeking to speak with him. Then one said to him, look, your mother and your brothers are standing outside, seeking to speak with you. 48. But he answered and said to the one who told him, who is my mother? And who are my brothers? 49. And he stretched out his hand toward his disciples and said, here are my mother. Here are my mother and my brother. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. So therefore, with the word congregation, we want to establish and reestablish, which is well known and well documented throughout time in American history, the royal family of Atlantis. And our main body of gathering is the world temple. What do we call our form of spirituality? Sound wisdom, right knowledge, right understanding, and sound, I said right wisdom. Yeah, sound understanding. We, as the ministers, learn about this through the colloquial science of what's called nuology, which is the actual science for the science of understanding, or the science of reasoning, the science of rationale. Is actually called nuology. The name of its philosophy is called noetics. And that particular form of philosophy is what we teach, which is natural philosophy. As the congregation for our gathering, this is the doctrine that we have inherited as a celestial and holy family. We are here to continue in the fulfillment of the law, not to change it. So we are here to gather the 144,000 that are mentioned in the book of Revelation. We are here to gather those children of the Messiah, those followers of the Messiah, and those who love God, that would like to re-enter the kingdom of heaven, which we are establishing globally with the Democratic World Committee and the Holy See of Noon, which is the original Holy See, not the Holy See of Peter. Yahshua did not come to change the law, he came to fulfill it. So therefore, we will be fulfilling the prophecies of Yahshua, or Joshua, son of Nun, which was also a great prophet. And the word itself in Greek, nuncio, means prophet or messenger, which takes you back to the Arabic word nabi, which means prophet, messenger. And on further down to Hebrew with the word Nebo, which is another one of my names. You end up with the same spiritual reservoir of people, of energy, back to the source in its proper alignment. we want the family to get involved. We want the congregation to get involved. Those of you who already consider yourself as family, please reach out. We need you guys to help out in any way that you can. There's so much that needs to be done. The mission has not stopped. We still have the ability to go get our land back that was in Georgia that got taken from us, and get land back that is naturally owned to all the indigenous tribes and indigenous peoples. If you are, connected to any indigenous tribes, indigenous chiefs, please reach out to them, inform them. Especially if you know any Native American churches, reach out to them. We're reaching out to all the people that we can from, especially where we're at locally, the Sheik Center, the Shrine of Madonna, the Moorish Science temples that are here, the Black Panther parties, the Black United Fronts, just all the different Black nationalist groups, all the nationalist groups, no color struck, and all the other ethnicity, nationalist groups. There's no color struck thing here. As long as there's no racism and there's no support of white supremacy, which we don't support any type of supremacy at all, other than the supremacy of the supreme being, the absolute supreme being, itself, which is nature, almighty nature, as we like to call it in the world congregation. But reach out to everybody, all peoples, all skin tones, all cultures, all walks of life, as long as it's not doing anything that's, like I said earlier, transgression to, the movement and progression of nature as a whole. And, we come together and agree on the things that we can agree on and move forward in a progressional world body. We established the world professment for that as the world congregation, which makes up the actual representative for the people, which will be your ministers, a part of the world congregation. And, learning the school's doctrine and going through the different levels of the ministry, and placing themselves to be a representative for the laity, to be a representative for the people. And we get this world professment established for the world congregation, or the world templates for the world congregation, and we further this movement and establishing the social motivation program to motivate people globally for them to establish their own movements to join ours, and we all become one umbrella and we move in unison, as a humanity as a whole. Please share the video, invite people to the World Temple. We would like to work for the World Temple, work with the World Temple. Please contact me to join the ministry. Like I said, we do have our own school. As the World Congregation, we're working on the global interdependent school system. And we're also, offering the World Trust Fund, for those that are members of the congregation to be beneficiaries. We also have our own treasury system, banking system that, we want you to get involved outside of the temple, and, pretty much inquire about for those that are not, financially stable, because currency is a reflection of energy. We don't want to discuss the exchange of money in the congregation or the temple, but talking about money is not an issue, especially when it comes to how it reflects to your spiritual, condition and your spiritual being. The dollar itself is not a good reflection to your spiritual being, and condition, especially the usage of it and the intention behind the dollar. It's a medium of exchange, yes, but to exchange what in particular. And we know commerce, but whose commerce? Because we understand there's a sea of commerce. And in the sea of commerce, you have the merchant laws and the laws of commerce that was established by a particular group and a particular culture and a particular religion, which that same culture, group, and religion, we're still dealing with the negative, the disagreeableness of them and the actual rationale. So therefore, with that holy seed of commerce, we have the new one with our own market, our own currency. It's easy to agree with the Standard Benchmark Agreement that replaces the Bretton Woods Agreement. Every time you accept the dollar or give a dollar, you are in agreement with the Bretton Woods Agreement, which is technically null and void. It's been rescinded. If the discovery doctrine under the papal bull by the Pope is being rescinded and apologized for, then that means the contract is null and void, and all actions, conditions, interest involved in that matter, or those matters, are therefore null and void and do not exist anymore, and have no legal or lawful standing. But it's our people, mainly our people, melanated people, the indigenous people, who put their trust, their confidence, and their agreement into this money. It is our people that's bragging about the money and screaming, oh, you broke, you this, you that, and you ain't got this. You're waving a valueless piece of monopoly paper and what you got with it. When there's people in the same neighborhoods across the way from the suburbs that you live from are struggling. And this is going amongst congregations, pastors, temples, schools, etc. These things should not be happening in our community, in our country, that has the highest standard of living. We set our standard. The condition now is below a third world country. We are a third world country with a high standard of living. And we're not recognizing the oxymoronism in that. It's very oxymoronic, very contradictory. It should not be happening. So, like I said, if you want to go ahead and give some cut or tithe and offerings, things like that, feel free to do so. Let me see, I think I posted the link to where you click on that link. The last link I sent, go there. The last link for the digital wallet address, click there and send it. Bitcoin, however much amount you want to send in Bitcoin, all is accepted, doesn't matter. We do just want those who are coming in to understand that we're building. We need to get church, we need to get buildings, church buildings, different brothers that are a part of the congregation and sisters. They want to set up their own temples in a different location.
You know, got people all over the state: Baltimore, Maryland, Atlanta, California, Florida. We got people in Seattle. We got people everywhere in the Midwest, Chicago. We got people, you know, in Milwaukee, Louisiana, just all over. And would like to establish things. So those that are coming in that do have, you know, the financial ability to help, please do so. We also have a platform that we want all of the members to join, get involved, and you know, once you become a member, we offer this to you as a member, but you also could utilize this because, you know, this is just you know, banking or crypto banking, financing through your own community. The congregation members are, you know, taking it as top priority for us to come together and establish this project and, you know, move forward and, you know, create a new standardization to eradicate world poverty, you know, and create new trade agreements between nations and people so people could trade easily, you know, with no problem. But I'm going to give the link for the congregation members to join. You know, if you want to become a part of the actual congregation, click the link. Everybody that's here in the actual Facebook group are just guests, but you know, you're still guest members. You're still members, but you're just guests of the actual church. But we want you to actually become a full member of, you know, the temple, and you know, join the site. You know, get involved, and you know, get everything. You know, get your letter of good standing, everything that you need for the congregation. You know, to certify that you're a part of the congregation. And this, you know, this comes in handy when you're doing things in your community. You know, especially in school. You know, you need, you know, things that you volunteer for. You need to put this, you know, down and, you know, write this on your resume or things like that. You know, feel free to do so. And this is what this is for. Like I said, feel free to contact me. If you want to donate free will offering, I'm gonna leave our PayPal link in the comments and also banking information in the comments. So you know that can be done. But I want to thank everybody that tuned in, stopped by, took a look, you know, gave a like. You know, this is just sermon number 1. I'll try to be back as soon as possible for the next Friday when I can. But you know, any other members, ministers, you know, feel free to take over and you know, start the sermon on Friday. But I wish you all true peace, peace and blessings, divine love, and water.
True peace, true peace, true peace, true peace. Happy holy day, Muslims. That was actually sermon number 1 that I did almost 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. We're gonna close it out. We didn't get a chance to read the divine supplication. So begin our prayers and thinking by using the all. O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the worlds, we do accept the duty you have lain on us to clean up the filth made by the West and its non-submitting fools. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us to control the strings of the courses of our lives. Our sustainer, and if we do wrong, please show thy divine blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us true followers of the news bearers, and in thy name we carry on. read the Divine Constitution, keep it short and sweet. Tonight, I'm going to do the prayer and we're going to close out. True peace. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, true peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is our holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, true peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not a part and parcel, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained over Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Islam. Alright, I'm going to say the prayer and I'm going to close us out, y'all. True peace. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. Y'all read them divine warnings. If you get a chance, the literature is actually on the World Temple website. I'm going to be putting that on there tonight. Thank y'all for coming through. Peace and blessings. Islam. Catch them replays. Wadu.